All right, this is going to be a special edition of, I guess, the Martin Jones Show. And here we go. This is a DVD I got in the mail. And wow, this is something else. If you are a fan of the CRAMPS, you will see this as a must-have after you see this. This is the CRAMPS and the MUTANTS Napa State tapes. And the CRAMPS show at the Napa State Hospital, VHS tape, DVD that you may or may not have. It ain't this. This is the whole deal. This is the whole trip. This thing is over 3 hours long. It's got extra shows by the MUTANTS. One at the On Broadway, the Mabuhay Gardens, and the other one is two shows from the Oakland, California School for the Deaf, October 12th, 1978. That one, you got to see it to believe it, because they do two shows, one for the kids and then one for the teenagers. And lots of people there, lots of kids, lots of teenagers, and they can't hear a thing. They're deaf. So, you see them, they're all hanging around the bass and drums because that's where the vibration is coming from. And they're getting down, they're loving it, and the MUTANTS are rocking. Can't say that the MUTANTS songs are as good as the CRAMPS, because they're just not. But it's amazing to see that. You know, this art punk rock band playing for a bunch of people that cannot hear them. It has to be seen to believed, and it's all on this DVD. And now, let me tell you where you can get this. Grasshopper Film. That's who put this thing out. It's also got a ton of information and interviews about each band. It doesn't have any interviews with the CRAMPS on it, but it's got interviews with people who saw the CRAMPS and knew the CRAMPS, got invited over to Lux's apartment. I won't say any more. Study this cover and then go to Grasshopper Film and get this thing. It's over 3 hours. And it's just a document you thought you would never see. All right. Let's move on to a band that I went and saw the other night, and I've seen them before, Skull Cult. I bought this record from the band. Like I do a lot of my records, I just buy them directly from the band when they swing into town. Okay, Skull Cult. What do I think about this? I think this, without sounding anything like it, but being just as, I guess, crazy and hypnotic on the first listen, I think this equals the Butthole Surfers, and that's saying something. You go onto their Bandcamp, you can listen to them, and I think you'll see what I mean. They're from Indianapolis, and they are the funnest, strangest, weirdest thing I've come across in a long time. And this record is just called Skull Cult. I think the artwork on it is kind of not really something I would okay, but wow, what that thing sounds like will blow your mind. Just like the Butthole Surfers did the first time you heard those dudes. Okay, this is a 7-inch called New Mutilator by the Skull Cult. And this is what the cover looks like. And I'm kind of lucky because finding these records online is kind of a pain. You know, if they do have them, it'll be from Europe, and the shipping and handling on these things will be kind of something that'll make you say, nah, I'm not going to get it. But I'm able to buy them right from the band because the band shows up in Detroit and does a show. All right, this is a 7-inch from the Skull Cult. This one's called Volume 1 and Volume 2. That's the back. This is the record. And again, wow. Very, very strange. Very, very entertaining. Very, very, they're like a force. That's how I would describe this band. They're like a force of really weird things, kind of like the Butthole Surfers were, without sounding like the Butthole Surfers at all. And I put up some footage from last night's show of that band, and as I'm watching them do their thing, I felt privileged to be able to see them, but there was one drawback. Seeing this band live, they're not as good as on the albums. Usually it's the other way around. Like, oh, well, you got to see them live. This band, to replicate what they're doing on these records in, probably a little studio they have in Indianapolis, they can't do it live. Live they're great, but they're just crazier on vinyl. They can't replicate the insanity that is on these little records when they're doing it live. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go see them when they show up, if they show up in your town. Anyway, the Skull Cult. Get everything they've got if the shipping and handling isn't too much. And get ready to listen to it again and again and again. Anyway, they're so good. I love them. You know what? I'm going to show one more record. This is going to be a short little video. I picked this thing up the other day in Royal Oak, Michigan, because I didn't have it. And this record, which is on really heavy vinyl, it sounds like demos, but it's from SST Records, Lawndale, California. But the sound quality isn't that good. It really sounds like demo tapes. Anyway, TV Party, haven't listened to that one in a long time. I've Got to Run, that one's pretty good. But the standout, which this album only has 3, so the standout of the 3 is My Rules. It's the shortest song, it's the best song, it's the song that would make you want to buy this thing. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about the cover. It's weird. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Skull Cult is so good. Well, if you're kind of a weirdo. If you're a normal person who... I don't know. If you're a normal person, this probably will drive you away. But if there's any strangeness in you or creativity, or if you just love the Butthole Surfers, Skull Cult from Indianapolis is the way to go for you. All right. Anything else to show? No! I'm waiting for a couple albums in the mail. I'll show those. Anyway, I got to see Skull Cult. Oh, and also this thing. Wow. Vinyl Richie, pick this up. It will blow your mind. Plus, this thing has a song on it that the VHS tape and the DVD don't have as far as the CRAMPS set. And that song is Rockin' Bones. And I understand why they took the Rockin' Bones out. Is because halfway through it, the camera kind of points towards the ground and never stops filming the ground as you're listening to the band perform the Rock and Bone song. So it makes sense that they took it out, but it's on here. Plus you get to see the interview with the dude from Minor Threat, the Ian McKay guy. I think that's how you say his name. He talks about being in a bathroom with Nick Knox from the CRAMPS. Anyway, that's it for this video. Wow, Skull Cult is wonderful.